Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test. Yeah, welcome to another episode of the Nostalgia Test Podcast. I'm Dan Dissinger here in LA, and I'm here with my longtime friend and co-host, Manny Coelho. They're in New York. Manny, how you doing on this fine evening?
What's going on, guys? Just want to let everybody know, if this is your first time at the Nostalgia Test Podcast, I don't know why, but if it is, this is where me and Dan and I, two great longtime friends, put our pop culture and nostalgia to the test. Could go from music, movies, toys, cartoons, whatever it is, we put it to the test. What does that mean? That means, does it stay nostalgic? Is it still something that we like now? If it is something that we like now, we believe that it passes the nostalgia test and moves on. Or is it something that we thought we liked and it just kind of stays nostalgic and it doesn't pass? It's really not that great. It's just making us feel good about our childhood. Or is it crap? It's so bad, and we like to call it, is it the Three Musketeers bar bad? And if you don't know what that means you haven't gone and checked out that episode. You need to go to the Candy Bar episode. Check it out on Podbean.
Make sure to subscribe for new episodes. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Nostalgia Test, and on Twitter at Nostalgia Test. Come to the website, sign up for the email, suggest a test, and the website address is thenostalgiatest.com, or go old school and email us at thenostalgiatest@gmail.com. But Manny, we're here.
We're here, and today we are testing another movie, and we have a special guest.
Boom!
Boom. From New York, another New Yorker. So Dan, again, you're getting destroyed here. We're in the cold. You're over there in 80 degrees.
Yes.
But so we have our friend, longtime friend. Dan's definitely known him longer than me, but doesn't matter. I still consider him a really great friend. We have Mike.
What's up, fellas?
Can we say your last name, Mike?
Sure, why not?
All right, Mike Silva. He's in the house.
Yeah.
What's going on?
AKA the Bear.
AKA the Bear.
AKA Price Hike Mike.
That only really people only know that name if you hung out with us. Anyways, those who are listening. So, Mike, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? How's it going, fellas?
Listen, we are only doing this movie because Mike. There's a couple times where we asked you and you came up with this. I thought we were going to do Jerky Boys. I thought we were going to.
Yeah, you guys approached me with a bunch of different ones. You said Jerky Boys, and then you had said maybe a Major Pain, and then one day I was just on the sofa flipping through the channels, and this popped up, and I said, "Oh my God, we got to do this one."
So,
yes.
Yeah. So Mike, because of you, now I have watched this movie all the way through, straight through, and wow. This was quite the experience. One thing I want to say about this, we tell everyone what it is. We are putting to the nostalgia test this week the 1986 military action film Iron Eagle. Already, I know the laughter has to begin. Action is right. We're going to talk about that action.
Oh my God.
Directed by Sidney J. Furie, co-written by Kevin Allen Elders, and starring Jason Gedrick, Louis Gossett Jr. According to Wikipedia, while it received mixed reviews, being unfavorably compared to the similarly themed Top Gun, released the same year, the film earned $24 million at the U.S. box office. Iron Eagle was followed by 3 sequels: Iron Eagle 2, Aces, Iron Eagle 3, and Iron Eagle on the Attack, with Gossett being the only actor to have appeared in all 4 films.
That's because he probably executive produced all of them.
He has.
Because there's, I mean, come on. Come on.
Well,
Why was there 4 of these?
Well, Manny.
The rest gave up after the first one.
Yeah. Like, how was this guy an officer and a gentleman?
Oh,
and won an Oscar, did he not? He did.
I think so. I gotta look that up, but I mean,
he did for an officer and a gentleman, and then this movie.
Whoa! Let me just say that this movie was crazy. And I say that not because like Mike, you were laughing before when we said military action. You're like,
Action?
Yeah, the action's not crazy. In fact, the action is so repetitive. They must have blown up the same plane every shot. But it is just one of those, I was baffled from the beginning of this film.
Dan, what do you have the stats on like the budget of this film?
The budget was 18 million.
And it made 24 million, I think you said, right?
In 1986. 1986, 18 million is a lot of money for a movie, I guess, in 1986. But damn, I mean, I can't handle what this movie is. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, you start the tri.
I mean, how do you even? I don't know, man. I don't know. First of all, I just want to ask both of you guys. So, Mike, you've definitely seen this movie. I know that before.
Yes.
Before this.
Yes.
Dan, have you?
I have not seen this movie all the way through. It was another Roadhouse situation where I've heard about it. I've seen clips. I've seen bits and pieces of it in passing. Of course, like my childhood, because I didn't have cable as well, these movies are all over cable. The only time I might have seen a movie like this or bits and pieces of it is like way back when I was a kid, and like Channel 11 in New York, which was like WPIX at that time, would play a movie in like a Saturday afternoon. And like they play like these types of movies.
So I'll tell you that I remember liking this movie a lot. Okay, when I was younger, like I remember, of course you compared it to Top Gun, but it was like a younger Top Gun, it was like a more rugged Top Gun. Like it was kind of there wasn't so much shine to it. Okay, that's how I compared this, right? Yeah. And I thought, I was like, oh my God. And I do remember this was the soundtrack. The soundtrack to this movie, I was like, it was the guy that was always listening to music.
Well, that's what I remember. I remember distinctly all the time, the minute you mentioned Iron Eagle, first thing I always mention is the tape recorder strapped to his knee. That's the first thing that'll come to my mind. The minute you mention Iron Eagle, I'm going to say tape recorder. On your leg.
On your leg. Does
dude
does nothing.
Pilot. It's just, he, like you said, you don't even know where to start.
He does nothing without that.
No, he can't.
Thing.
He doesn't even drive without it.
Yeah. Did you see that
he plugged it into his Mustang?
Yeah, but do you see how he like builds a Velcro strap?
It's a leg strap. It's a holster. Well, the beginning of the movie, he starts off, he's repairing his tape recorder. He's unwinding it. With the little screwdrivers. That's the first part of the movie. That's not nostalgia for you right there. Every kid in the 80s went through that one right there.
Oh my God. And I was like, okay, it's a cassette player. It's a Walkman. It's not a Walkman. No, it's literally just a tape recorder. He plays out loud.
Out loud.
You can't. When he's in the plane, like, here we go. Boom. It's just like,
oh, yeah.
You have your headphones on. You're listening to shit going on. This thing's playing Dio at the end of the movie, and I'm like, who cares? Like,
but doesn't he bring it into that Mustang and he plugs it in and he puts the tape deck on the dashboard?
He looked like
I have a question about that part. I have a question about that part. Does the Mustang not come with a tape deck in that era or anything? Like
I think maybe
he made this like whole elaborate setup to plug in his tape deck to the amplifier.
But that looked like a 1960s Mustang.
Yeah,
that didn't look
probably
like
then I thought maybe like, first of all, he drives like a maniac. Second of all, I thought maybe we were going to see more of like his like gadget. Like he obviously is good at like putting together
flying. Like he wasn't really
radios.
He was just good at flying.
I don't know. Mike, he unwind that tape deck really nice with those screwdrivers and stuff.
I want to know how much music he was able to fucking put on that tape recorder. Yeah. Because I'm sitting there going, all right, the soundtrack. But every one of those songs on the soundtrack is basically playing through that recorder. And I'm like, so he has all that music on that one tape?
No, dude's carrying like 5 or 6 tapes in
his pocket. Yeah, he had to flip the tape over. Remember in the airplane, he had to flip the tape off.
Yeah. He's like,
flip it over.
This
side B.
Side me. He brings a briefcase with him everywhere he goes. He's like, there we go. And it's like,
dude, he even went into the simulator with it.
Yeah, he needs it to fly. He can't fly without that. That was one of the things.
No, he couldn't do anything without that. Like, it's like the missiles go nowhere unless he has the unless he has that on.
That was ridiculous. But can I just for a second rewind?
You can do whatever you want.
To
it's your podcast.
To the first 2 minutes of this movie, the worst opening of all, the longest opening of just planes flying with the worst font ever. This is like Iron Eagle. It's like I typed that on Windows 98 and I was just like Iron Eagle. And then finally, this 2 minutes, no dialogue. No dialogue for 2 minutes of the opening film. And then finally we get like what this movie's about. Oh my God. It was just like
so we haven't even, I mean, whatever. We haven't even talked about like the whole like plot of this movie. First of all, the shots are like repetitive shots.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to talk about the continuity because like sometimes there's a plane that has the missiles on it, and then sometimes the same plane doesn't have the missiles on it in the same shot.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It was a low budget film, obviously. Well, I think that's low, but
they spent all their money on music.
Well, what they were saying was the US Air Force, when they're filming these movies, they have a long-standing policy where they don't allow the actual F-16s to be featured in films. So what they had to do was they had to use the Israeli planes. Actually, that's what those planes are.
Yeah.
And they were able to film a lot of it in Israel and in California, which is interesting. Like even those planes that they're playing, the F-16s are actually Israeli Air Force planes that they repainted with fake numbers on it and stuff. So that's why you're going to see a lot of the repetitive shots on like the interiors because they don't want them to look anything like the actual F-16s.
But Maya, I heard that, and I also heard that because of that, there was almost an incident where a plane was going to take down one of these planes while they were doing like trick shots.
Oh, really?
Because it was painted like an American plane, and they thought Americans were somewhere where they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it was.
And they had to get called off. They had to get called off because they were about to blow up this plane that was just doing like stunt footage.
Yeah,
like that's how crazy they went for this movie. Like someone almost died. Yeah, stupid.
Can you imagine
crazy movie?
You die like you had someone that you get killed during Iron Eagle, and they have to be like, yeah, like what happened to your kid? Oh, you know, he died. Oh my God, how like he was shooting Iron Eagles. Like what? Like that's what he's remembered for, like Iron Eagle. Like boy.
It was also said that the U.S. Army, they didn't really want anything to do with this movie because of the plot about how the kids were able to break into the base so easily.
Yeah, the Air Force. Yeah, right. Yeah. They don't like
they didn't want to like portray the Army to be, like the Air Force to be that weak that like like 18-year-old kids would just be able to like break in
the entire
spilling
system
coffee on the bat. Like they got in too easily. Anyways. We haven't even gone through the plot. We went through whatever. This is what we do here. And that's a nostalgia test tangent.
Yeah, if you like our tangents, you'll love all the stuff that we put on Instagram. I mean, because they're like tangents themselves. So definitely follow us on @the nostalgia test on Instagram. It's like we have some good stuff up there.
I mean, basically, the plot is Doug's dad gets caught and is going to be killed just for being an American. They never tell you where.
No.
This might be. There's quotes that it might be Lebanon.
Yeah.
It's a made up place. It's in
it's Middle East. It's Middle East.
And it's one of the Arab states, Arab nations they made up.
They were just kind of they just wanted to like talk about being in Middle East. So war in the Middle East. Guy gets caught. The army doesn't. To me, they don't care. They're like one guy. See you later. Like not going to do anything about it.
Which is fine. That's what it goes on all the time. That happens all the time.
But then this kid has an idea. Him and his Eagles buddies has an idea to go get his dad. within 3 days. They planned this in 3 days.
Dude, that's what kills me.
3 days. Yeah, 3 days. I wrote that down. I had to. 3 days. They hacked the entire Air Force systems, came up with the whole flight plans and logistics, stole 2 F-16 fighters fully armored with weaponry, and then went through with this entire mission to save his
Mike,
father.
They went from California to the Middle East. They didn't go from a nearby base.
Right. They flew across the ocean. Yeah, they had to fly low under the radar.
Yeah, and it's like that entire scene is like I felt like I was flying with them. Like, all right, sit back and relax. I'm like, so are we doing this in real time? Like, I feel.
Remember, they had to refuel halfway there.
Yeah. What was that scene?
That was because they were supposed to be weren't they supposed to be going to Italy or something like that? There was a training exercise.
Well, they gave them a false flight plan. Yes, they gave them a false flight plan so they can get clearance to go through. Yeah.
The best part about this is he meets Chappy for the first time, and Chappy's like, "Let's do this." Like, what?
Yeah. He convinced him in 12 hours.
Yeah. Like Chappy sucks.
Good.
Chappy, you may think he's cool in this, but he let an 18-year-old kid go up on a plane and go find this mission. How did they both not get arrested and goodbye?
I want to rewind it actually a little bit more.
And go all the way
before we get to the flight missions because I have my notes here.
And that's a nostalgia test tangent.
First of all, there's 17 and 18-year-olds hanging around on an US Airforce base like it's their high school. And it's just
they're treating it like their high school.
They're treating it like they're flying around. They're driving crazy through the base. They're hanging out at a burger joint, right? And then the kid that he threatens them he challenges him to the snake.
What was that?
And then they all just decide we're going to just jump in our planes, which are parked down the road, and we're going to fly this through the mountains. It was just like us going quadding through the woods. It was just who gets into their planes and just decides to just drive around. And they all have their planes. All of a sudden, everyone's in their own planes.
The best part was someone died previous to that. Remember Bobby or whatever his name was? He died. It's just boo-hoo. They don't give a shit. They do these things well, maybe you'll die. It's just that's a big deal. Someone got killed.
How rich were these kids where they all have planes? They all have single-engine Cessnas, and they're flying around. They threaten you to this. It's not like they're jumping on a motorcycle. He's
the one guy is, but
the one guy is, but all the other three, if they're already fueled up, ready to go.
Yeah, ready to
jump
go.
in them.
Ready to go. Here we go. And that one character, one of 2 or 3 black people in this movie has to put full goggles on. And
he's
everyone
the best.
else is has a backwards hat. Just flying around. It's come on.
That was the guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
Thank you. Yeah, I forget his name. I feel like he plays the same character in every movie that he's been in.
Dude,
it was always the dopey guy. Well, he was I think the flamboyant guy in the Nerds at that. I think in that movie, I forget.
Yeah, he was.
And it's just
he was very smart with remember he was
technology,
really good at throwing shit, and he was also a dancer in that movie. One of his skills in his headshot must be breakdancing.
So the actor's name is Larry B. Scott. His character's name was Reggie.
Reggie, that's it.
The other star is Jason Gedrick. He's Doug Masters. And then one of my favorite characters, Jerry Levine, who plays Tony, who was Michael J. Fox's best friend in Teen Wolf. That guy's in this movie. I was oh my God.
He's Michael J. Fox's best friend who loves to sell t-shirts of him and drive his truck around while Michael J. Fox became the wolf.
It's incredible.
Dude, that racing scene though.
Okay, so let's I'm going to talk about this racing scene first of all. When they're yo, we'll race, and because he threatens him and he calls him a loser for not getting into the aviation school. So right there, Doug sucks as a student.
Yeah.
Even with his dad's pull, doesn't get into the aviation school. You could see how hot-headed Doug is. Doug's all right, let's get in my plane. First of all, it doesn't go that way. You got to make a flight plan. You got to call the flight thing. All this happens, okay?
They all jumped in.
How this is willy-nilly get on your flight plan, get on your plane. And so I'm thinking, okay, they're going to both fly planes and race through this snake canyon.
I originally thought that as well.
In fact, one dude is racing that dude on a bike.
A dirt bike.
The guy on the bike is like, I'm going to beat this plane. What are you talking about? It's two different motor vehicles. One flies, the other one just drives down the street. Why are you racing? What is this? Why is this a thing?
I was baffled by that whole thing. And even like when he made fun of him at the burger joint, like Doug Masters, first of all, Jason Gedrick was like dead throughout this whole thing. It was like he was acting from a coma.
He's a zero actor.
Dude, he looked at the rejection notes. He's like, I guess I'm not getting in. And then he like crumples it up and throws it. Not a second later, the guy's reading his rejection letter. 20 feet away from him. How did he get this rejection letter? He's like,
I think he threw it at him.
These kids do whatever they want, but that race was ridiculous. I was so angry because I was like, this guy's going in circles in the plane. Like he
wasn't doing anything.
Nothing.
Well, like, how do you measure the win?
Well, the other thing is the other guy messed with his engine. He pulled something on him.
And like they said it so nonchalant. Like he's in the cockpit. The guy who like
or something on him.
The guy who messes with his fuel plug was told by the other guy. He's like, "Oh, what's his name made me? Oh, wait a minute. One of your friends made you try to kill another person." Like, what are you talking about?
Almost crashed his plane.
How did Doug's friend not punch the dude in the face? Oh, because you were flying in a plane, so you don't want to punch him in the face. He's the one that's flying your plane.
Yeah, and then they just land it and they walk away. Like nothing's ever happened. They just landed at the end of the race and they all get in their cars and they drive away. It's like, where'd you leave the plane? In the middle of the desert and you just drove back?
That's what's funny. But everyone's okay with this because as they're coming in to like win the race, there's like a finish line.
All of a sudden there's a people there.
There's like toilet paper everywhere. And they're like, here they come. And this asshole, Jason Gedrick, flies all the way down to the ground to go through the toilet paper. Fly above it.
Because it was gonna crash.
He crashes it anyway.
And then he walks away.
Yeah,
he leaves the Sentinel there. Like
they left it.
Yeah, and then he punches the guy in the face. He's like, Can you hear me now? You hear that? Did you hear me?
Oh, that's right. He punched him. That's right. He punched him in the face. Yeah, he punched him in the face and walked away.
I can't believe that was the opening to the film.
That's the opening.
And that's the most action that happens. For
pretty much.
Yeah.
The next hour and 45 minutes.
So that's the opening of the film. You see how hot-headed he is, and then he gets the news that his father has been captured. Yeah. And he has an emotional breakdown.
Sort of.
That is muted beyond muted. Like this dude's acting. I mean, listen, I understand how like not making fun of actors. I think it's a very tough job. That's why I'm not an actor. But this dude, did he even try? Like, how did the director not go like, your dad is captured?
Yeah.
React a little bit more than.
Did he do any other movies after this?
Jason Gedrick?
I hope not.
No, Jason Gedrick was huge in the 80s.
But what else?
He was not, Dan.
I don't know what else he did.
Jason Gedrick was in Backdraft. He was
that was a good movie.
Yeah, he was. Let's Go Down. Hold on. He has a ton of credits. So even before this, he was. Let's see, Risky Business. So he was uncredited in that. Then he is Iron Eagle. Then he did Promised Land, Iron Eagle 2, but he was uncredited. Born on the 4th of July. He was in that movie. Then he was in Backdraft. He did some other TV series called Class of 96, Dare to Love. Yeah, I mean, he was in stuff. He's in a lot of stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's still acting, I think. I mean, let's see.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's he doing now?
He was in Lethal Weapon. He played Frank Hardy.
That's incredible.
There you go. He was in a bunch of episodes of Major Crimes. He was in Beauty and the Beast, the series, Justified. Dude, this guy's working.
Does he whisper in all of the movies?
Dude, he has to be. I mean,
He
I
might
couldn't
have
hear
gotten a little bit louder as like time went on. This is one of his first movies.
Yeah, one of his first movies. Yeah.
They were trying to make this guy like a heartthrob.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, this movie was supposed to be released around the same time as Top Gun, but like they made it release earlier because they didn't want to they didn't want people to get confused. With it. There's no way you can confuse Iron Eagle with Top Gun.
No, and truthfully, they also wanted Emilio Estevez in this instead.
And did Emilio like read the script and go like, "There's nothing here"?
Yeah, he had to have read that script and just been like, "What is this shit?"
Okay, so we have this snake race, which makes no sense to have. Like, basically, it was like watching that movie Airborne. You know, like when they race the backbone at the end, like they're rollerblading with Jack Black is in it.
Oh my God.
You know, it's a terrible movie, but I'm gonna test that movie, but because it's terribly awesome. But so they have that thing. We're trying to say, okay, we're gonna see more of this, like the kids fighting. They're gonna be flying in Cessna planes. No, we are not. We're gonna watch this guy take over the base and go rescue his father. So, meanwhile, there's a dance that you have to go to.
Prom.
Yeah,
but
prom.
It's a prom.
Mike, if my dad is being captured,
he's got to go.
Doing nothing. Yeah, I'm not going to the prom.
He had to go to get his mind off it. They made him go.
Watch his friend breakdance. They needed to put that scene in there.
Oh, dude, that was a terrible scene. And because the mom said, your dad's going to be thinking of you and your girlfriend or whatever her name was at the prom. He's like, I don't think that's what his dad is thinking about. He's a POW. He's literally like, he's trying to figure out how he's not going to get executed. And he's just like, but he's probably sitting there going, man, I really hope my son is at the prom right now having a good time with a girlfriend who has like almost zero lines. That was the most ridiculous. That mom, I mean, she was just like, and she's like, this happened before. It's like, this happened before? Like, remember that shit? She's like, this happened before. You were too young to realize. And I'm like,
it's like, Dad's a shitty pilot, let me tell you. Keeps getting shot at.
Yeah. Dude, every time they shot one of those planes, it was either they exploded.
With a machine gun. Yeah.
Or
they show the machine gun and they blow the whole freaking plane up.
Or they exploded into like cardboard boxes. Like it just blew up, no fire. It was just like
and it was the same explosion on every plane, the same scene, the same shot.
Plane. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, but the prom. That dance that kid's doing with his prom date was insane. It was an insane dance. And everyone's watching them. Like this is the greatest dance they've ever seen.
Oh, it's great.
It's cheesy.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to. I have a gap in the timeline of my events here, but it's just a lot of it was jumping around. But I don't know if it was before. It was right. Okay, so I think it was when Chappy agreed to help him come up with this plan in 3 days, and I don't know if you guys noticed this one when they go to their clubhouse that's on the base.
What the fuck was that?
That giant room on the base that's like a ridiculous clubhouse that they all hung out in that had like all the technology and stuff in it.
Yeah,
it's incredible. I was like, I had to bring that one up.
I feel like that was supposed to be like a warehouse that they just didn't use anymore. That somehow the kids
a bunker, right?
were able to like go there. But before that, remember he was in the flight, so he needs to go get like stress relief, and he goes into the flight the
simulator.
Somehow, first of all, we're skipping this whole thing, and that's a nostalgia test tangent. We're skipping the fact that he goes into the base. He goes into the base to talk to the colonel, or I don't even know.
That's what. Yeah,
the guy has. Yes, the guy has a line for everything. Like the guy says 2 in the bush, 1 in the bish, and the bottom, but like he has every 80s line that you can say that doesn't make any sense to say. I'm not making any sense explaining this because all I remember is going, this guy won't stop. He went on for like, I don't know, a paragraph's worth of dialogue to Doug, and Doug's just sitting there.
No, but it's great when he goes, he's like, I can't tell you what's going on, kid. You don't have that clearance. And then he's like, okay, no, come on, tell me. He's like, okay, don't tell anybody. It took that much convincing for the colonel of the entire Air Force base. He goes, okay, I'll tell you. And then proceeds to tell them all the maps that they have of the entire country.
There was one part where he said something like, something about 200 miles. He's like, yeah, see, when we're looking at our coast, we have 200 miles. They see 12. I'm like, that's a big difference. Like, you have to get that together because you fucked up. Like, but he says this other thing. He's like, hey, it's Admiral, what's his nuts? Like this.
Yeah.
And then he says this other thing where he goes, we're holding all the aces. They act like we're holding a couple of twos waiting on a face card. I'm like, oh my God. And he ran past that security guy. That was the best part. Like, he's like, let me go. And he run. The word security on the Air Force. The Air Force.
Yeah, the kids they just walk around wherever they want.
The kids are like, it's as if they have all access. Nobody checks anything. And you can't even say this is like, oh, this is way before 9/11 or whatever. Like, no, there's no way the Army, Navy, Air Force lets kids run around like this.
No.
Yeah, there's our families that live on base. They're like, but you're going
Army, through like.
But there's no way that these kids can go around and do the stuff that they did.
If he wanted to talk to that colonel, they'd be like, please wait in this office. He'll be right there. Not like go in the middle of the guys. Like, the guy's like sitting at one point when like he finds out that they're not going to go rescue him. At one point, he's sitting right in front of the radar. And he's
he's watching the radar.
This is where he whispers. He's like, oh, so tell me the truth. Are they going to do anything?
The guy's like,
be screaming.
The hell did you come from?
And he's looking down. And he's looking down. Doug's looking down. He's like, so what can we do? This guy's talking about aces and two in the bush.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll tell you. Talking about two in the stink, whatever he's talking about.
Let him go. Yeah, let him go. It's like, let him go. He's already past security. We're not letting him go. Like it's like they had more security on the ship on Spaceballs than they did in like what this is supposed to be the military in like this movie.
So for him to go like let loose and like get off stress, he goes to the simulator again, going past like protocol again. He's like, hey man, can you get me in? And he's like, well, in fact, somebody's running late. So we could squeeze you in. Never would happen. So this guy, Doug, somehow, like, is his dad that great of a person that he has, like, carte blanche on everybody?
Apparently not, because he keeps getting shot down. So he's not a good pilot.
I don't know what he has. Plus, every time they said Doug, I was like, come on, this character's name is Doug. Like, that's what they named the main character, Doug.
Doug Masters, but baby. Masters.
Oh my God.
Fucking master. So he's in it. So he brings his freaking tape deck attached to his leg. God, like, I love how when he sits in the simulator, like he brings it. And the thing, like, it's like bringing a weighted backpack. That's how big it was. It was the size of a backpack. And he's like
7 double D batteries in it.
Yeah. Straps it on his freaking leg.
Duct tape it to his leg.
And he's like,
then he takes out the Atari joystick that he got.
Yeah. What was that for?
I was like, what the hell's going on?
Like, how loud? So that thing's he's not even using headsets, by the way. This thing's amplifying off of his leg. This guy it's like being in a subway with somebody that's like using a speakerphone. Like, well, I don't need to listen to that music. What the hell are you doing? Right,
because he had his helmet on. He had to hear the flight people, so he can't have the headphones on.
Yeah,
he had to have his helmet on.
Insane. So then that's the first time he's meeting Chappy, right? So Chappy ends up taking over the flight simulator. So. Yeah,
right.
And he's like, I never heard of your dad, but I know the type. But then fast forward. He's like, I remember running into your dad when people were making fun of him for being black in the Air Force, and then dad stood up to him and like saluted. So like Chappy lied right there. So Chappy was testing him out right then and there.
Yes.
Right? Now, why is it Chappy feels the need to help this out? Like, why wouldn't Chappy just be like, all right, I'm going to go to my leaders and I'm going to be like, we need to get this guy.
Yeah.
No, Chappy's like Chappy's a criminal.
Dude,
they all are.
Why?
They all are. All the
Chappy?
kids are. They stole documents from the US Airforce and they stole 2 F-16 planes.
And bombs. They stole bombs.
And bombs.
And missiles.
Fully
I need
equipped.
you to get one more thing. And it's like the one more thing is like the Hades bomb. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh,
this one
that's
guy,
the best one. That's the
one
best
kid
one.
Is running around getting these weapons. And I think it was Robbie Riss, the actor that like he's the voice of Michelangelo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The
Fucking
main
awesome.
nerd that does like the hacking. First of all.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
He's the guy.
I'm like, what is going on here? But like, they're all criminals, every single one of them. And Chappy lives in like a trailer park. Like, what?
They don't like Chappy.
No, and his name.
The army hates Chappy, but gives him 4 movies.
Oh God,
I need to see Iron Eagle too because I need to see where this goes. But anyways, okay. So Chappy, like he's like a guy. He's like, I don't even want to say Mr. Miyagi because he's testing Masters and his crew, and he's like, how good can you be? You gotta give me all this in less than like, I don't know, a day.
It was one day. They needed 3 days. They were gonna kill his dad.
Yeah. So they all go through this thing, and every single person that has to go do something distracts that person that is like supposed to be.
It was
like,
all their fathers.
Yeah, but so easily distracted. Like the way she spills that cup of coffee, I'd be like,
the 2 girls spilled. Yeah.
Why does he clean that up?
Wasn't the one with the shop and the kid that has the one in the shop and he's trying to? I think he was the one who actually got them the planes. Like he blew something up in the hangar.
Dude, they blow up
when they were working.
They blow up fireworks. They blow up fireworks in the hangar. Everybody's going down like they're being attacked. And then what happens at the end of that? Like they don't care. Nobody notices where that's coming from.
Yeah.
They're in the army.
And immediately, people should have been grabbing guns, searching, and just shooting. I was like, what is happening here? And the funny thing is, wait. Louis Gossett Jr., Chappy, said that Doug Masters is such an asshole to him. He's like, oh, don't you like flying? Why are you a mechanic? He's like, because I like fixing planes. It's something I like to do. Like, answers were just like, you're a dick. Get the fuck away from me. And then when Louis Gossett Jr., they say, it's a PG-13, so they can say fuck one time. And Louis Gossett Jr. says it in the weirdest way when like he gets all pissed off at him because like Doug Masters is like getting on his nerves. He walks over, he's like, I gave X amount of time to the fucker, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa. I rewound it. I'm like, did the sound mix get fucked up? No. He like mumbled the word fuck in his mouth in a weird way. And I was like, Jesus Christ. But if it wasn't for Louis Gossett Jr.'s like energy in this film, I mean, it would have just like, been so ridiculous. But then, it's like a montage of fun and games nonsense in the military base. They should have all gotten killed immediately.
Oh, when they were prepping for the thing and they were all like dancing and stuff, because what
the hell was
this
that?
Movie was half great, like I said, because of the soundtrack. Like the soundtrack was one of the best supporting actors of this movie, because without it, this movie is terrible. Because if you watch it on a dubbed YouTube video, you're like, which I did not, but if you did, you wouldn't hear any of the songs. So you're like, what is happening in this movie? And it's terrible. So I'm sorry. I wish that I could say this movie is great, but like this is like cheesy beyond cheesy 80 movie. But anyways, so we get through the montage scene, which, and then they stop to take a picture. Again, what is happening? This is a serious thing that's happening. Nobody should be stopping to take Polaroids. There should be no proof of this.
I thought Louis Gossett Jr. was going to lose his mind there, but he's just like, all right, everyone go home and blah, blah, blah. That's it. I was like, yo, start screaming. This is evidence. This is all evidence. And like, dude, the funny thing was that was at one part where like Louis Gossett Jr. hits the jukebox like Fonzie, And James Brown comes on and he starts dancing. Like, I don't want to see Louis Gossett Jr. shake his ass. Like, he literally, it was like him shaking his ass this entire time. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this movie? Who is this movie for? They had no idea what to do with this film. Like, it was 5 different movies.
I'm telling you, this movie was like, it was almost watching like Ski Patrol. Like, there was some comedy. There was some comedy to this movie.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it was.
I don't want to keep repeating myself, but the soundtrack, that's what this movie was.
Yeah. This was
so anyways, so let's keep moving on because I'm going to keep repeating these horrible jokes that I have on this movie.
So,
and that's a nostalgia test tangent. And that's a nostalgia test tangent.
They fly across the ocean. Then
hold on. And that's a nostalgia test tangent. Mike, shut up. We can't skip the part where like he needs to train him because they only got 3 days, but he's like, I need to see what you can do.
Okay, right, yes. So they just happen to jump into an F-16 that's parked on the runway without any clearance.
That's not true. They gave him a clearance to train because Chappy was training Doug.
Oh, is that what it was? Because they didn't talk to the kid at all. They didn't talk to Doug.
No,
he only talked to Colonel. He told him to keep his mouth shut. I thought.
Yeah, but
right, and then he just jumped in. Oh, but they scheduled the training.
They scheduled the training by the computer. That's why they had to go into that base and they were using the fireworks and whatever and like faked everything out. And they set up fake names.
Oh, that's right.
They set up fake names to them. Set up a fake like get rid of these 2 planes thing because they're going another flight. Flight thing.
Yes.
And then Chappy was like, "Oh, I'm going to take this guy to train." Right?
That's what it was. Yeah.
So hold on. Doug has carte blanche everywhere on this base. How is it that nobody that's there is like, no, that's not Sergeant blah blah blah. That's Doug Masters. Why is he going on the plane with you?
Yeah.
Well, and this happened before.
And you're Chappy because you're the like you're not the other person.
The retired colonel from the reserves. It's not even an active member anymore.
First of all, when he first meets Chappy, he meets him before he flies the snake.
Yes.
Because Chappy
because Chappy was fixing his plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, your oil thing. But Chappy didn't see that the guy tried to like loosen the oil cap.
No,
he messed with it after. No, he messed with it after Chappy fixed it. Yeah. Oh. The kid did it right before the race.
Yeah, but like the funny thing is like this isn't the first time Doug was smuggled onto an F-16 to go fly. His dad did the same fucking thing.
Yes.
Because his dad doesn't give a shit about the rules.
Yes.
And the guy in charge, the major, is like, I heard some music up there. It's just like, yeah, because the guy standing next to him is his kid. Can't you tell?
He's got a boombox strapped to his hip.
Yeah, you don't see the fanny pack strapped to his hip.
Why is it? Hey Sarge, why you have a boombox strapped to your hip?
Or hey, who is this person here? Like who is that?
Yeah. Who's not talking or saluting me?
Who's right?
Oh my god!
So they take him to the train. He's training with him. Doug's terrible, right? He's all nervous. He's terrible. Chappie's like, "We're done."
He made him not play the music.
Call it, and he's like, "Let's do it my way," which reminded me of like Days of Thunder when Tom Cruise is like,
"Yes,
your way, my way," with the tires and stuff. So he wants to do it his way. Turns on the music. All of a sudden, Doug focused.
Yeah,
focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy's secret power is only activated through music.
Yeah. And his superpowers only come when he plays Road of the Gypsy by Adrenaline. That's the music that always plays when he's ready to like get it moving. And then at one point he's playing, there's a song Hide in the Rainbow by Dio. That was at the end as well. And the One Vision by Queen. That's like 3 of the more major songs that they play over and over again in this film.
So just by that one training, like that lasted probably like an hour. Chappy's like, yeah, you're ready to go. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's go have this highly sophisticated mission Just the two of us. Let's do this. Like,
Yeah.
Chappy has like a death wish.
He totally does.
Oh yeah.
Halfway across the world, illegally, in 2 stolen F-16s with a 17-year-old to go save another dude. First of all, I don't even want to get to the end yet, but the plan to save him was ridiculous. Like the fact, I mean, anyway, but like he blows a couple boxes up, and it's like Chappie's like, all right, let's do this. And he didn't want to at first. He's like, are we doing this? He's like, I don't know. And then what does he do? He turns the plane. He's like, okay. And like, oh, so all you have to do is do a loop, and then like, and Louis Gossett Jr.'s flying faces were hilarious. Like when he was in the plane, he was like, ah.
So now they're ready to set to go. Love this. They get on the plane. Again, nobody's checking their credentials. No one's checking their faces.
Wait a
Because
second.
all he has to do is wear the helmet with the visor down.
The visor down. Yeah.
Can I just say one thing before we do that?
Yeah, I forgot. We skipped the part.
We can't not talk about the dinner scene that like Louis Gossett, like Chappy and Doug eat dinner at that blues bar.
Which he called an Italian
Spaghetti and
place.
meatballs.
You like Italian? I'm like waiting to see, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second. I'm not saying that there can't be good spaghetti at this blues bar. And Chappy's like, here's my friend Slappy. Chappy
Cancels in his shit.
He makes the best meatballs. He's like, what the fuck is it talking about?
That guy was in Roadhouse. That guy
Was he really?
The guy in Roadhouse, Manny, and like outside. Remember when in the beginning when Dalton gives him his car or gives that homeless guy? That's him.
That's him?
And then that guy was in Weird
He's the
Science.
homeless guy.
Yeah.
He makes meatballs. Do you like Italian? Let's
He
go to this
upgraded
blues
to
bar.
Slappy the fucking.
And he also was in Weird Science. He was the guy that like goes, drink it. He's that
Really?
guy in Weird Science.
This guy's got a good career.
He's like Lee Turgeson of the 80s.
Dude, this guy's
Italian
got like,
restaurant.
he's got
Oh,
extra
shit.
credits everywhere.
Oh my god, dude.
He makes that extra money by getting the dialogue in.
I forgot about that.
You know what's so funny about the 80s movies we've been watching? Every time
Nothing.
we see an 80s movie, every time we see an 80s movie, like there's always like one black character and everyone else is white, right? In this movie, they're like, all right, in one moment, we're putting every single black extra into this scene right here.
That's right.
That's it. And
That's
it's
right.
like eating meatballs.
at a blues bar.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you eat? I don't know what you eat at a blues bar. I mean, they could have meatballs.
Bar food.
I thought it was great. I just thought I'd like, oh, we're gonna go into an Italian restaurant.
Oh my god.
Nope. We're at like a bar.
Yeah, and
Nah,
he starts creating a map with the meatballs and the olives. He's like splitting them.
So you gotta watch out for that olive.
Slappies.
You see that
Do you know
olive?
at that point, Doug thinks he's going by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the crazy part. Doug thinks he's going over there by himself, and Chappy's just gonna be like, all right, see you later.
Yeah, dude is gonna fly on a plane in a mission for the first time in his life, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go do it by myself.
Oh,
Like, this is some fucking.
Yeah, that's
his
great.
dad must love him after this.
unreal. I mean, even when Chappy goes, you got your tennis shoes.
He's like, for what? I'm flying a plane.
He's making him run. He's just like he's showering. He's like reading him the information. Chappy.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
he's
that's
like-
right. That's right.
And
What is
he's
happening?
Yeah.
like, this would be a lot easier with shorts on. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a weird part.
If you love this podcast and you're a sponsor out there,
You want to tip me?
yeah, you can email us at the nostalgiatest@gmail.com. So,
That's right.
So Chappie approves that we're gonna go. They have like this last minute celebration, like dinner or whatever. Or not like I don't even know what it was.
Celebration.
And he's like, where are you going? He's like, I gotta go say goodbye to my mom and my girlfriend. He's like, no, you're going to go in my trailer. That's
go
it.
to my trailer,
Go
get
my
my
trailer.
bed.
Sleep in my bed. He's like, what?
Well-
Wait, what?
Go to sleep.
That's not part of the plan.
He's like, I'm ready.
What's going on?
Chappy's like, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Wait.
Oh, and then when he gives him the book, remember he gives him the book of all the dead guys?
Yeah, but you know who he tells him that's going to go talk to his mom and his girlfriend? Slappy. He said Slappy.
No.
Yeah, he said.
He said
Slappy.
Yeah, he goes, I gotta go talk to my mom and my girlfriend's like, Slappy will take care of it.
Oh
God.
Shit. That's right.
Oh my God. He's like, what is it? You gotta watch out for this pepperoni. Oh, and he ate that and it's all oh my God.
He's like, Chappy, you're eating the fucking map. I don't know what I was supposed to hit, but you ate the fucking olives.
When he's in the mission, he's like, that was the olives.
That's the same thing. He did the same shit when they were building that little model of the whole base.
Oh,
when they were planning in Chappy's whatever barn.
Oh yeah, the food.
And he was asking for the fucking air tower. And he's like, "That's my lunchbox." It's like,
dude, I think that scene was improvised because then that kid, Michael J. Fox's friend from Teen Wolf, starts laughing. Goes,
starts laughing. Yeah,
stop laughing. I'm like, that had to be an improvised scene.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Oh my God. When he actually told Doug, he's like, you're gonna have to speak with a deeper voice than that. They're gonna know what kid's coming for. And he's like, he speaks like Slappy. I'm like, this is the only time Jason Gedrick does any acting in this entire
Oh, that's
film.
right. Yeah.
He does that impersonation of Slappy. Oh God.
So now they fly across
my trailer.
Get in my trailer. And then he goes and he starts recording. Like he does his
yes. He takes
monologue.
his recorder.
Is this where he says God doesn't give talents that he doesn't want people to use? He gave you the touch. The power is inside you.
That's on the tape.
That's on the tape. We hear that later on.
That was
but that's
gross.
what he says.
That was gross.
I feel like I thought I was watching. Well, I'll wait to talk about that when we get there. But
when he tells him to go get his butt in his trailer, there's 45 minutes left in this film.
I know.
I think it was
this movie's 45
2
minutes
hours?
too long.
This movie's
way too long.
It's a 2-hour movie.
This movie sometimes is like this podcast.
Wow, Manny. And if you like this podcast, definitely subscribe to the podcast at thenostalgiatest.com.
No, but like when I noticed that, like, so at some points, you know, I was looking to say, how much longer is this movie? And I'm like, wait, we're not even
They didn't even go on the mission yet. They didn't even do the mission.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no mission, one training scene, a bunch of fun and games of like the Eagles, which they're dressed like
like the T-Birds from Greece.
The T-Birds from
they act like that too at the coffee shop against the other guys, and they want to go race the Thunderbird. So the best. Okay, so they're on this thing. You never see the kids anymore, right? This kind of reminds me of like, what was this movie? What was that movie called? It was called Space Camp. Remember, like the kids like get launched into space.
What?
Dan, you haven't seen Space Camp?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That movie's phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Oh, you need to watch Space Camp.
They just launch kids into space?
But a robot does it because this guy wants, he's friends with this kid, and the kid really wants to go to space. And they're supposed to be training, and the robot launches the actual rocket into space with the kids inside.
Oh my God, that's a horror.
Jesus Christ!
Space Camp.
Dude, my brain is broken. I can't.
All right, we got to get back to. We got to get back to that.
You can't. Mike, you have to let Manny and Dan do their rant. And that's the nostalgia test tangent. Hold on, I just have to see who was in Space Camp before we move on. Because there's somebody listening that's answering this question out loud. Lee Thompson, Kelly Preston, Kate Capshaw.
Wow, that came out in 1986 too.
Larry B. Scott, he's in that too.
Oh my God,
he's freaking
serious?
awesome.
There he is.
Dude,
Wow.
freaking Joaquin Phoenix.
Wow.
Absolutely amazing in this. He's so young in this movie. Dude,
Unreal.
you need to
Yeah,
watch this movie.
Leah Thompson was in that? And Kelly Preston? Tate Donovan? There's a lot of people in that film. Wow. Okay, we might have to watch Space Camp someday. Woo. Okay.
All right, let's go back.
I'm sweating.
It's because it's 80 degrees by you.
Anyways, so they take off and, they're going through their, apparently they're just flying to Italy. That's the idea.
Well, I don't know if it was supposed to be a training simulation again. But then they just detoured off of that. I think that's what it was. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. I don't think that little thing that looked like a credit card, old school.
Oh, the screen on the plane. Yeah, it's
was ever really in F-16s. I think
no, it won't. No, it wasn't. No, they said it was all made up because they didn't want the general public to actually know what the inside of an F-16 is. So that was all made up.
Yeah.
But what's funny is it looked like those video games you sit in like Dave and Buster's or something.
Right.
And it was like the words came across like a speak and spell.
Right.
No, I'm telling you, it looked like an old credit card machine.
Target locked.
Yeah.
It was like boop, boop, boop. I was like, wait a second, this is no way.
Yeah.
But it was so bad.
Who has time to read that? You're being under attack, looking down at that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. This part of the movie, there's so much exposition at this point because just Chappy and Doug flying now, and it's just talking, and I'm like, 45 minutes more of this movie. Are they gonna talk for 25 of them? Crazy. I couldn't believe what was going on.
Basically, this is the part where you narrate to the audience what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the audience isn't smart enough to understand what's happening.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't need to see the guests pump.
No.
It didn't need to happen.
No, I needed to see them get to where the fuck they were going and start blowing shit up. Let's move.
Yeah, this is supposed to be an action film.
Dude,
that's part of the reason why I feel like Top Gun did so much better.
Yeah.
With their action scenes and even their storyline.
Just their
character. The plot more of it was just I feel like it grabbed the audience more, and that's why it did so much better.
I think people would argue that they really like this movie more than Top Gun.
Well, this came out first, right? How much sooner did Top Gun come out? A couple months, wasn't it?
A few months.
A few months right after. So
who's going to argue that this is better than Top Gun?
Dude, if you look at some of these reviews,
every review that I've seen it trashed this movie. Trashed it.
It's got 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's still better than Cocktail.
Well,
is it really?
Well, wait. Cocktail has a good audience rating. I'm
talking about the film critics.
The film critic rating of Cocktail is 7%. But what is Iron Eagle?
They got a 56% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
From the critics?
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 20% based on reviews from 5 critics.
Are you serious? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 20%.
Wow. I don't get it.
Everybody else trashed this movie. It's great.
The critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes for Top Gun is 54%. Now, that's actually lower than I would think.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh my God, dude.
But
yes.
So when they get to the actual air base,
I was watching. I was just reading.
Whatever, right? Chappy just gets hit and he goes down. Right, just disappears.
Guys, wait!
Shut up!
I'm gonna blow your mind right now. The budget for Top Gun was $15 million, $3 million less.
Wow!
Than Iron Eagle.
And what did it make?
$356 million.
Holy shit! That's insane.
Wait, so Iron Eagle had more money?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You didn't have that cheesy technology in Top Gun. Their equipment was better. They had an aircraft carrier on the freaking I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. It's I don't know.
Iron Eagle has 4 sequels. There's 4 of them. Top Gun, one.
Yeah.
They made a ton of film. I know. I'm losing my mind.
That's crazy.
The world makes no sense.
Yeah. There's some reviews are saying that like people who trash this movie, like us, are missing the point. Like this was geared towards Top Gun was geared towards adults.
Right.
This was geared towards kids. Like it was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be fun. That's why they have like the race. Then they have the dancing. Like the action isn't so hard. Like it would have been geared toward adults. It would have been more action and all stuff. So like we're being. I guess they would say that.
I can see
critical. That. Maybe that's why I only liked it as a kid. We haven't even finished it, but I'm gonna throw that in there right now. Like, meh. You know, like it just. I thought I was gonna like this more.
I thought it was going to be way different than what it was. I was like, it's taking too long to get to the part where we're just about to talk about, where they finally engage with any enemy fighters at all. What, an hour and like 20 minutes into the film?
See, it says it's action. Like to me, it's just kind of like subpar comedy action
with a ton of music.
Yes. So they get to fighting. Of course, you know, they're doing a great job. He gets it. He's like, I got him, Chappy. And he's like, yeah, but one of them got me. So now Chappy's got to help him fight this other guy. Which, by the way, don't forget, this dude, they thought he was going to do this alone.
Yeah.
He would have been dead.
Yeah.
Chappy acts as a decoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Like, Doug can't do anything without Chappy.
Nothing.
Sorry, Doug, you suck. So Chappy goes down. Doug is like, Chappy! The loudest Doug's ever been. And he also has to like scream over his music. Chappy! So, but right before that, he goes, just play the tape. Go over all the parts. Play the tape. So Doug now somehow takes down the same tower twice.
Everything explodes though.
The Jeep explodes 100 feet into the air with a machine gun fire. You know what it reminded me of? The same kind of action when what was it, Rambo?
Yeah.
When he was going, the same explosions like a bow and arrow hit a gas can and fucking 4 tanks blew up and a tower. It was like it was so over dramatic, which is again is 80s, action, blowing up stuff,
Yeah, when he shot the tower with the machine gun, the whole thing just like from the bottom.
Guys doing backflips 30 feet in the air. It's just great. The Jeep exploded 50 feet away. He does like 8 backflips. It's unbelievable. And the best is when he drops that bomb. What's that?
The Hades bomb.
The Hades bomb, which is napalm, basically.
Yeah,
across the runway, and nobody thinks to drive around the fire. They all stop in front of the fire. And then they send 2 idiots with a truck through it. The best one is they send the guy on the motorcycle. I'm sorry, but if I was that guy on the motorcycle and the guy tells you to drive through the flames, I'll tell him to go fuck himself. He goes, if the fucking tank just blew up going through the fire, why would you send the motorcycle?
How does he hear any of this? Like, this is the other part. The leader of whatever country is on a phone. What's it connected to?
Yeah.
And he's just like, send them through. It's just like, who is he talking to?
Nobody can drive around the fire.
Just start shooting.
That was the best. No, the best when they send the motorcycle.
Oh my god! But that guy. Oh my god! But
how about when the sniper shoots the father? He hits him in the shoulder, it spins him around or something.
But that was like the leader.
He's like, I want them together when they die.
Yeah, well, shred them. Isn't that what he said? He's like,
I just think it's ridiculous.
Like, one
that
shot,
whole,
not a shred.
The whole idea of like how even helicopters came up, couldn't shoot him. Like
nobody can hit him.
Nobody can hit him. Everybody is like the worst.
Nobody hit him.
he was able to land his plane on a runway that was owned by the enemy.
And it was on fire.
Which was on fire, half of it.
On one part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then get out of the plane.
Yes.
Go down the runway, get his dad, run back to the plane. Didn't he put a flight suit on, his dad? His dad His dad had time to change into a flight suit. No,
his dad was already in his flight suit when he got there.
Oh,
was it? Oh, okay.
He asked him, that was like one of his yes, look, ready? This is Iron Eagle. I'm the flight leader of an American assault force sent to recover Colonel Ted Masters, whom you are unlawfully holding prisoner. I want Colonel Masters dressed in a flight suit and move from his prison location to the airport. When he gets there, I want him put in the Jeep by myself. At this point, I'd be like, shoot fucking Colonel Masters. Like, boom, he's dead.
Shoot him.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know, it's just like the fucking Chappy told him, have a deep voice. He goes like, hey, this is Iron Eagle. I'm like, he's gonna be like, is this a 15-year-old kid? Like, shoot him out of the air. Like, shoot this guy's dad and let's get it over with.
He's like, I want to see an escort leave the destination center in 2 minutes with Masters, or I'll have to destroy first 5 strategic targets, beginning with your biggest oil refinery.
Okay.
Now the best part of that is the best part of this whole time is when he's shooting. He's talking to Chappy, who's apparently dead. So he's like, "You see that, Chappy? Looks like they'll be importing oil this year."
Yeah. And I'm like, actually, what's going to happen is we're going to be screwed because in 1986, the United States was getting oil from everywhere. If you're like, I destroyed that refinery, it's just like, oh shit, gas prices are going through the roof now. Like, you idiot.
God.
They get back to base and they're like, you just made gas prices go to $2. Thanks.
Yeah, in 86. It's like, no. Dude, the best part is when they destroyed that airstrip and everything. And then the leader of whatever country that is, he's just like, how long is it going to take to repair that? It's just like, repair? Everything's been
You obliterated it.
10 minutes. 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
What are you repairing? There should be like craters everywhere. Like, it's like, oh my God, I couldn't believe what the fuck is happening. I was just like, oh my God.
So now he's like, Doug, he's back on the thing, and then the leader of a country is like, get out of the plane, and he jumps in the plane.
He jumps in it,
because he's so mad that he's gonna do that. Are
he's
you
like
kidding
Darth
me?
Vader. Like, I mean, in Star
Wars,
Wars,
I have to be the one that has to go fight him and get it and prove my strength.
Dude,
like,
everyone knows
how are they just not firing at the plane with their machine guns on the plane?
Well, when he landed, why didn't they just destroy it then?
I don't
just start shooting through the flames. Why?
No, they all stopped.
They all stopped.
They've never seen a bomb like that.
Oh my God, dude. One part which was hilarious was when the leader was in that tower, the flight tower, and Doug goes to destroy it, and he goes, everyone out. But the whole thing is incinerated.
And then the leader's fine.
They all got out. Yeah,
he's somewhere else. Like, hey, when is that repaired? I'm like, wait a second. Like,
by the way, he was totally fine. His suit was still white. Like, explosion just happened, yet no scratches on you.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. I couldn't take it. I was just like, this was the most ridiculous scene of all time.
I mean, all of it is.
Oh, it's great.
My God. And then, of course, he kills the leader. I mean, why not, right? I mean,
well, the best is like, why not? You have to. Like, that was the thing. This was like the leader needed to go on there to prove his worth, and now, like, Doug's gonna end up killing him anyway, which was like not really a dogfight at all. Like,
no, it wasn't. It was short. It was short. Yeah.
Every action scene lasted a second. Every dialogue in this movie lasted hours.
There was more time with Doug running behind Louis Gossett Jr. with the plans while Louis Gossett Jr. went for a jog than there was for like any of these action scenes.
So then the best part, so now you got the other two MiGs that were coming, and like they reach airspace, and they're like, do you wish to engage? And they don't. They're like, they don't wish to engage, and
the movie over.
They're just all kind of fine that these people just had an international incident just happened.
This should have been a huge war. Like, this should have started an insane war.
War.
Yeah.
Okay. They get back. Chappy is alive.
Of course he is.
He got picked up by a fishing boat or something.
Chappy
is alive and doing well.
He's like, I had to do some dog paddling there, and I got picked up by an Egyptian fishing boat or something. I'm like,
it's something like that, yeah.
So the best thing, the only thing they have going, and he's like, Chappy, we're going to go to jail, Chappy. We're going to go to jail. And the only thing that I got going is that the Army is so embarrassed that they don't want this out. The Air Force is so embarrassed they don't want this out. So they're just going to pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
None of this would happen.
No.
Please, I hope not. It's like
I'm rewatching this end of this scene right now. They have 2 Apache helicopters that are launched too.
Yes,
and
they do nothing.
They still can't hit them.
They do nothing.
Them up before they took off.
The Apache's helicopters did nothing.
And he had to flip the tape on his leg. His fucking tape from the fucking tape ran out. He had to flip it over.
There should have been a scene where like the tape got caught.
Yeah, it got stuck again.
He needed to like take it out while he was on the plane.
He gets a pen. He puts the pencil in the head of the pen.
He's gotta wipe it up.
Oh my god, I hated that so much. It's like, oh, okay, hold on, stop, flip it over.
That is
Get
phenomenal.
your eyes on the sky. You're flying like at Mach 1.
And your guy's dying.
You're worried about Dio's playing. Oh my god,
this is great.
Oh my god, dude.
He's like, and Chappy made more dialogue on for the father to listen to. And he wanted him to know the story too, just in case we didn't already know. By now, you know your son's a pain in the ass and stubborn.
Yeah, we have hours to go. I'm gonna talk right now.
The dad's like, Doug, I'm dying. I don't need to hear this fucking.
I'm hemorrhaging out of my shoulder right now in the cockpit. We have to get back.
Also, I don't know who this man is.
The fucking tape recorder right now.
Who's Chappy?
Who's Chappy? I'm bleeding out. Put the fucking tape away.
Yeah, I don't want to hear your Dio. Right back.
What touch do you have? Just get me the fuck out of here.
Oh, the motorcycle parts. It's fucking, it's just so funny. Just coming up again.
So then
he's in a sidecar.
So then it wraps up.
Holy shit. Why would you drive through a flaming ball of fire with a fucking sidecar?
This episode is sponsored by Lithology Brewing Company out of Farmingdale, New York. It's a nano brewery. Come down on ingredients, 60% New York ingredients. Edit point. Love it.
And then the armored truck that goes through the fire, that actually makes it to the fire.
Yeah.
Fucking Doug turns the plane around and fires the missile on the ground right at the armored truck.
Hey, Dad, does this missile work on the ground? I don't know. Yeah. I've never done it before. It's like, no one is shooting missiles.
Jesus Christ. You are a shitty pilot. You don't know anything about your plane. You've crashed twice. You should be fired from the Air Force.
They should be like, how does your son know how to control an F-16?
Disaster.
We're not putting your kid in jail, but we're court-martialing you.
You know, he gets into the academy because of this.
Yeah.
This all has to do with him trying to get into the academy.
Oh, full circle, right back to that rejection letter.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Oh, man.
He can't fly without the tape recorder. You can't fly the plane with the tape recorder around your leg.
They're not going to let him do that.
They're not going to let you fly. That's why he got rejected.
And then it ends, and they do their weird secret handshake, which is what each one does. They hold each other's hands, and they go, Eagles, and then it ends.
And they're like, you did it! You did it!
Yay, Dougie!
I feel bad. Like, at the end, they only had those two other guys. Like the guy who really made that whole plan work was the nerd, the guy with the glasses.
He risked the most.
Yeah.
He's in jail probably. They probably put him in jail because they're like, all right, you hacked the computer system, you stole these flight plans, you stole 2 jets and bombs and missiles. Someone's going down for this. It's gonna be you. Okay,
it's gonna be that kid.
Entire family are going down. Okay, it's over. That's why we don't see him at the end, right? I mean,
I think he's in the crowd. I think.
Yeah, he runs up. He runs up to they hug Chappy.
Does he?
Chappy gets off the plane first. They all run up. The girls, the kid. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this right now. At the end. Okay, this is supposed to be a classified mission. They said they were not supposed to say anything. There's a fucking marching band outside the plane. They're coming.
Well, no, but
and
Mike,
they're all greeted.
But Mike, they say if you listen to what he's saying, the narrator, like the newscaster, they're like, "Oh, there's special mission to go rescue him," and he's like, "And we flew, Doug there to go be."
Oh, that's dad right. That's right. They covered it up. They covered it up for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
I can't. Listen. To sum it up, do you want to sum it up and see if it passes this test?
I think we're at that moment. Manny, you have anything else to say about the film?
I can't. I don't know. What is there to say? Hair. His hair.
Tucked in shirts. Every shirt was tucked in, and Doug wore a sleeveless hoodie at one point.
Oh, he did. He definitely borrowed the Goonies outfit.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Which is like a classic '80s thing. All right, so I'm gonna go first, if you guys don't mind.
Go right ahead.
I know we make fun of the movie sometimes and we pass it anyway, and I know there could be people listening and they're like, you guys are taking this movie way too seriously. And I get it.
Yeah.
And even if I was trying to look at this at my 13-year-old self, I just couldn't get into it. And that to me is the rating, the way I always go with these movies, is that if you're not good enough to make me suspend my disbelief and let me be in the cheesiness and revel in it, then you're not passing for me. Now, is it nostalgic? Yes, in the way that it makes me think like, because it's not so bad that I'm like, oh, freaking Three Musketeers bar bad. But I believe that it's nostalgic as in like, it's definitely cheesy. I do remember like loving this, like, oh my God, this movie's great. The music is great. The music helps it stay nostalgic. Yeah. After that, though, no way. I'm not watching this movie again. For some reason, I can't do it to myself to like be okay with the cheesiness. Because like we've done other movies that have been cheesier or just as cheesy, but I've been like able to let go. And I couldn't with this one. I was watching this going, this is just terrible. Maybe it was the acting. I don't know. Maybe it was the length. They got to shorten movies, man. Yeah. These movies should never have been that long.
No, this movie was long. This one, Point Break, was long, but Point Break was good, I feel like, But
it was still also long. They were like making 2-hour movies even back then. But now you see a 2-hour movie and you're like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Back then, though, this could have been a 95-minute movie. Because if you recall in the 90s and the early 2000s, movies got that short. Absolutely. Like, we used to go to the movies and we used to be like out in 95 minutes to like, it was long to go to like an hour and 20-minute movie. That was a long movie. They'd start splitting it up. Like only until like Kill Bill did all of a sudden movies start going back to being long again. But this is 2 freaking hours, bro.
This was long. So like just remains nostalgic for you.
Remains nostalgic for me.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with Manny. I mean, like I said, it's your classic 80s action film. And again, like, had I not been watching TV that one day and this scrolling through the channels and this movie had popped up, I would have never have ever thought to watch it again since my childhood, So it's your classic good guy, bad guy, USA wins kind of 80s film, It is cheesy, you do have those 80s parts where, like I said, with just like the group of kids and then just always hanging out and like everyone had their group of friends, everyone had their own little the nerdy kid, the calm kid, or whatever. But it just say that again. If you were to say like in conversation, oh yeah, remember that movie Iron Eagle? Like, oh yeah, that was just a cheesy movie. But that's about as far as I would go with it. I wouldn't really say like it was like the all-time greatest, classic 80s nostalgic film. I'm gonna say it's a no good for me.
I'm like in agreement with both of you that like I think what's funny is like I've been over the course of this podcast, all the 80s films that we've done or even early 90s ones that we passed through the nostalgia test, like Roadhouse passes the nostalgia test and stuff. And people might be like, well, that's crazy. It's a cheesy, 80s or 80s action film. But what Roadhouse does that this movie doesn't do is know what it is and paces it well. This movie was just, right. God, even with Point Break, when I was watching Point Break, I had to watch Point Break right before the podcast. Even that, like, I was like, this is a long film, but it was enjoyable. It doesn't let up. This movie, there was, I want to know where the 18 million goes, because if Top Gun costs 15 million, how is this 18 million and it's this? I'm just really confused by the whole thing.
They probably had to pay the Israeli army a lot of money.
For the planes.
Probably, yeah. I wonder where Top Gun got their planes. But I'm thinking like,
I don't know.
I have to say that as an 80s film, it has its 80s tropes, but it's not the better 80s movie. I really cannot believe that there was 3 more after this. But yeah, I'm going to say it doesn't pass the nostalgia test. This is purely a nostalgic 80s film. It's not bad. If it came on the TV and say we all 3 of us were sitting around or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, Iron Eagle. Then I might sit and watch it for a little bit, make fun of it, and, like have a good time watching it. But I'm not going to go, all right, this weekend definitely need to sit down and watch Iron Eagle because like I love that film. I can never.
I mean, you said it earlier on in this show that you've never seen the whole thing through. Back. So right there in itself tells you, you know, in a sense. Whereas if you say Top Gun, I gotta watch Top Gun from beginning to end. It's or Roadhouse. I gotta watch it throughout the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So
it just doesn't pass the nostalgia test. Definitely remains nostalgic. But, wow, that was I'm dying. Guys, that was a good one. Any final words before we sign off?
You told me.
No, man. No, I can't. I'm sorry. There's been so many.
Well, I'm glad you guys were able to.
Sorry, Mike, that you chose this one.
I'm glad you did. I really did. I think it was something that we had to bring out.
I actually thought that you were gonna like it more. I thought I was gonna like it more.
I thought I would like it more too. I just could not.
I wanted to love this.
I liked it. I liked it, but again, it didn't bring back my memories. It didn't trigger certain points in my childhood. Rewatching it now, to me, like that's important. So, like you said, like with Top Gun or with Roadhouse or something, I was like, oh my god, we used to, we didn't do like crazy stuff like that, but it brought back certain points in those movies, triggered stuff back from my childhood, and I was like, this is what made me watch it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
This movie, I could watch 20 minutes of it and shut the thing off and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could watch like him like playing the tape deck and like
that's what I'm saying. If I was to take anything away from this movie, it would be that. It would be like, oh, that's the movie where the guy has to strap the tape deck to his leg. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's all you get out of it.
That's all I get out of it.
It's funny you said it because the other day before I like watched it again, somebody says to me, what are you doing the podcast on? I was like, Iron Eagle. I'm like, oh, the fucking movie was crazy, man. The soundtrack was great. And then that's all I could say. And I was like, I can't wait to watch it. And then when I watched it, I was like, I wish I'd never watched it because I wanted to like it. And now my brain's like, fuck. Now I also feel like
a lot of people that I have talked to about it, they're like, what movie was that? Like,
really?
Yeah. It's
that's
like,
crazy.
When I talk, like, y'all remember Iron Eagle? They'd be like, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that's the one with the stupid guy with the tape deck. Yeah, it's pretty much like everybody remembers that part.
I know that. Like, so today I brought it up to somebody, and they were like, "Is that with Louis Gossett Jr.? Is that with
Louis Gossett Jr.
Louis Gossett Jr.? And I was like, yeah,
Right.
it is. It's like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, it's terrible. It's not Officer and a Gentleman. Okay. He was a lot better in that movie. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm wondering.
After you go to somebody say, you remember Top Gun? They'll be like, oh my God, yeah, that movie was crazy. You know, like, right away.
You also have like.
I know I'm comparing, you know.
Apples and oranges right there.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to see. I'm going to have to watch Iron Eagle too.
I don't think I can waste any more of my time on going further with that.
How long is this movie? I wonder if it
let
got
alone
more
3 and 4
box office. $10 million.
That's
no,
it?
okay, it's fucking terrible.
Wow, but then they
I don't even think it ever made it to the theaters. Did it even make it to the theaters?
Iron Eagle,
yeah, it did.
Made it to the theaters. Yeah. But
2 and 3, the rest of them I'm talking about, the other ones.
Oh, I don't know if Iron Eagle 3
like 2, 3, and 4. I don't know if they were ever released like
Iron
in
Eagle
theaters.
3. It looks like, let's see, the third installment. Well, Louis Gossett Jr. was in it. He definitely isn't going to do one that's not going to theaters.
Maybe they were. I don't remember those.
That one only made 2.5 million. And
which one? The third one?
Yeah, and it was only 98 minutes. So now we're talking.
That's what I'm saying. It got shorter and shorter.
Yeah. Dude,
I might have to watch Iron Eagle 3.
Dude, Iron Eagle 2 was rated PG, and Iron Eagle 3 was rated R. And Iron Eagle 3, Chappy discovers a drug smuggling scheme at his own airbase. It turns out that the lives of some village people in Peru are at stake, and he decides to fly there with ancient planes and friends to free them.
Wow.
Wait, are the friends ancient too? Because ancient planes.
You know, there's probably a sex scene in it.
So is it more about just Chappy's side, or is it with Doug? But
no. Doug never shows up again.
He's done. That's it. He's not in the other.
He's done. So. Yeah.
No. So it's all the.
Yeah, there's like a girl on the cover. Like it looks like.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, well, PG, that movie sucked. We need to up the game here, I guess. Like that didn't work out either.
No. All right, man.
Well, people, this is a good one. Mike, thank you so much for coming on and being
thank you
part
guys.
of this conversation. I think I lost my mind at one point when we had the
you did.
Man. That's some funny.
Spaghetti. You like Italian? Let's go to a blues bar.
But everybody, thanks for listening. If you like Iron Eagle and you think we got it wrong, definitely let us know on Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Facebook and Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Or I don't know, hit us up on email with thenostalgiatest@gmail.com. But definitely visit the website, thenostalgiatest.com, sign up for the email, suggest a test, subscribe to the podcast, do all the good things, people. And,
peace out, guys.
Yeah, peace out.
All right, guys.
See you later, Chappy.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.